Hello there, everybody. We have a new topic today. This is something that I've been thinking about a little bit lately, and I just thought it's time to make a video and cover this. So, are all readers created equal? Wouldn't it be nice if we all were, and then it would be really easy to choose the best reader for us and then just move on with life? I don't think that all readers are created equal. I do think that we're all born with psychic ability. I've talked about that in some of my other videos before. You guys can go back and check those out on my homepage if you want. But are all readers created equal? Like, as in, are all professional readers, are all readers who are charging for their services, or even amateur readers who are giving their services away, are we all created equal? I don't think that we are all equal. And I'm not saying that I am the best reader for every person out there. I'm not saying that any one reader is. I think some readers are better for some people than others. And I think some readers are just better in general than others. And that depends on a lot of different factors. So let's look at some of these factors if you're interested. I think the first thing that I like to think about that makes us equal or not equal is practice. Has your reader had practice with reading? Because the more practice you have with reading, the more comfortable you are with understanding the messages as they're coming through and with translating those messages as they come through into something that the client or the person on the other side of the table or the camera or whatever can understand, whatever your case may be. So practice is the first thing. Has this person been doing readings? Have they been practicing understanding and conveying messages from Spirit for a decent number of time? You know, did they just start last week? Because if they just started last week, they might be still a little bit shaky about what messages are coming through, or they may even, maybe both, they may be also shaky about how to translate those messages, because messages come in different ways for different ones of us. There's basically 5 psychic senses. So it's important to know, how do messages come in? For the reader, it's important to know, how do messages come in to me most often, and how do I interpret those messages accurately? You know, do I use things like tarot cards or other tools? Do I do things strictly on energy? You know, and a lot of times when a reading comes in, it doesn't come in words. For a lot of us, it comes in feelings, and then we have to turn those feelings into words that somebody else understands. You know, so there's a certain amount of practice with being able to do both of those, with being able to receive that message, but also with being able to pass that message on. So I think one of the things you want to look at when you're looking for a good reader is, how much practice have they had reading? You know, not knocking a reader who hasn't had a lot of practice. You have to have practice to get there. But you may want to take some of what they say with a little extra grain of salt. That's all. You still want to support them, I think. Next thing that influences how good a reader is for you, and you're not always going to know this, sometimes until after the reading, and maybe never, you want what a reader experiences in life is going to color their perception of things. Okay? So if you have a reader who has never experienced a divorce, when a divorce is in front of them on the table, they may not know how to interpret that energy, or whether it's coming through on the table or just an energy or whatever. They may not know exactly what that feels like, and so they may have a little bit of a harder time interpreting that. If you have a reader who has not lost somebody significant to them, nobody in their life has really passed on yet, then they may not know what that feels like when it comes through. That may decrease the quality of them being able to pass along messages that are coming through around situations like that. If a reader, it just kind of depends what situations you have going on in your life. It is always helpful if the reader that you're working with has experienced something similar so that they can sort of ferret out some of the things that are coming through in that reading and be able to interpret them in a more accurate way. Now, your reader doesn't always have to have gone through the same things that you have, but I found in my readings that it's helpful. It's much easier for me to get to that information more quickly if I've been through something similar in my own life in the past. And I also, just as a footnote, think sometimes Spirit puts readers through situations so that they can be more helpful to their client. Not always the most comfortable thing, but it does have an end goal. All right, so that's just a footnote. Something else that's important is when you're looking to see if a reader is equal to another reader or not, or the best reader for you maybe, you want to look at their integrity. And when I say their integrity, I think the biggest thing that I see whenever I look around in my industry is the reader doing this work solely for the money. Sometimes people work at car washes solely for the money. Sometimes people work at car washes because they just love to touch beautiful cars and be around beautiful cars. Complete different motivation there. Same thing with reading. If somebody is reading solely for the money, that's going to be different than somebody who is reading because they feel like they can be genuinely helpful and they find actual fulfillment in doing this work. So if you have somebody that has found that they have abilities and found that they have skills in this area and they're capitalizing on that because they need the money and this is a job that they can do, okay, they're probably decently good and decently skilled at it. If somebody is doing this because they find fulfillment in being able to help other people by bringing them clarity, other people by bringing them clarity, then you've got more integrity coming into that reading. And the reason I'm saying you've got more integrity coming into that reading is this. If you have somebody who is reading just for the money, bring me the money, 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 money. What they're going to do when they do a reading for you is they're going to tell you what you want to hear. Not necessarily the truth, only the truth if you want to hear that. So they're going to give you the Cinderella pie in the sky story because that's what you want to hear. Now, why are they going to do that? Because you're going to like that reading. It's going to feel good, and you're going to come back to them because you like feeling good. Okay? So they're not really doing a reading because they actually want to help you move forward with clarity. They're doing a reading because they want to make money. Nothing wrong with making money. Not saying that the people who do readings for fulfillment don't want to make money. But is it just about making money, or is there more to it for these people? Okay, because the person who is reading because they feel like it's their calling or because they feel like they can actually bring clarity to somebody that will be helpful for them to move forward productively in their life, that's going to be somebody who is going to tell you the truth of what they see in a reading, not the truth of what they see you want to hear in a reading. And if you have the truth in a reading, then you have a chance to prepare for that. Then you have a chance to turn the energy in another direction if you want to. That's what's genuinely helpful. Now, let's be honest. Not everybody out there who hears the truth is going to be happy with their reader. There are people who shoot the messenger. That's just the way it is. And so those people may or may not come back. They may or may not. And so that's why people who are just doing money are going to say what you want to hear. People are doing this because they want to genuinely help you. They're going to say the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. Now, we might apologize for having to say it. We might say we hope when we have to say it, but we're going to say it. Okay? So integrity is really important. If you're looking for a high quality reader, you want to check their integrity. Are they in it just for the money? Is this just a job to them? Or are they in it because they feel like they can make a difference by doing this type of work? Okay? So, what else do we want to look at? This is a big one. Who does your reader work with? Who does your reader get information from? I think we all know that there are readers out here who go directly to Sacred Spirit or the Divine for their information. There are readers who use spirit guides for their information. And there are readers who consider the dark side to have a lot of strength, and so they go to the dark side or to demons or to the devil himself for their information. My preference is to go to Sacred Spirit or the Divine for my information. Why? Because I know that that's truthful, that's honest. Spirit guides, not a bad source as long as they're standing in the light. But I feel like also spirit guides do have their own slant on things that's going to be a little different than Sacred Spirit's slant on things sometimes. So I prefer not to use spirit guides in my psychic readings. We'll talk about mediumship because that's a little bit of a different ballgame there. But right now, just talking about psychic readings. And I don't get any of my information from anybody on the dark side, whether it's a demon, whether it's Satan himself, whether it's any other entity that would be from that side, shall we say. And the reason I don't is because, number one, I feel like those entities are probably pretty misled themselves. Secondly, I feel like they carry a lot of negative energy themselves, so even if they aren't misled, they're not above misleading me or misleading my client. They're not above playing practical jokes. They're not seeing any benefit in giving somebody real, genuine clarity to help them move forward productively. They're tricksters. They're tricksters. Why would you work with a trickster? So you want to make sure you know who your person is getting information from. Okay? Now, mediumship readings are a little bit different because mediumship readings, you're communicating with a spirit who has crossed over. You're not just getting information from the spirit world to help people make a decision, but you're communicating with somebody who's crossed over in a mediumship reading. So in that reading, your reader should be communicating with that spirit that has crossed over. Sometimes spirits who have crossed over aren't that good at communicating with those of us who are still here yet. It is a skill and an ability for them to be able to communicate with us, and it takes some time to develop it. And you also have to look at when somebody's crossed over and they're communicating with a medium, you have your medium's personality and you have this other person's personality, and are they working together? Do they have common experiences? Do they understand each other? Maybe, maybe not. Usually, I believe that a spirit that's crossed over, I think they usually pick the medium that their families and friends go to. And they bring the family and friends to the medium. But I will tell you that I have had situations where somebody chose me, but we weren't able to communicate so well, and so spirit guides acted as the intermediary. I encouraged the spirit to talk to my spirit guides about what I understand and how I work and how I operate so they would know how to bring messages through to me. And I also encouraged my spirit guides to help them in situations where they were having trouble getting messages across. So for a mediumship, do use that third party, the spirit guides, sometimes if necessary. Still, once again, I don't use the negative energies. And you want to be careful of anybody who uses negative energies for any of these readings, whether it's psychic reading or medium reading, because it leaves yourself wide open to be messed with. They're going to play head games. It's just the way it is. They will play head games with you if you work with the negative. So that's really important. Next really important thing. Confidence level of your reader is incredibly important. And I'll tell you why it's important. If you have a reader who is not confident with the fact that they got in a message and with how that message translates, and they give you a message, and you say to them, well, are you sure it doesn't mean this? Well, if they're not confident, they're going to kind of waffle and think, well, maybe this person knows something I don't know. Maybe it is that. Or if you have somebody that's not confident, they're going to say, well, it could mean this, or it could mean this, or it could mean this, or it could mean this. So now you've got 3 or 4 different translations for the same message, and you're not exactly sure what the message was supposed to be. Now that's no fun. Not only is it no fun, it's also not helpful. Okay? Now when you have a confident reader, that person is going to be able to look at you and say, I have a message from Spirit and it says da 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 da. And if you say, are you sure it doesn't mean blah blah blah? That reader is going to think about what you said. They're going to go in and check things out. And when I say go in, they're going to feel around. Or maybe they don't have to. Maybe they have already felt enough to know the answer without doing that. And they're going to say, no. No. That's not what it means. What it means is what I said it means. Da 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 da. You may not like hearing that. A lot of you don't. But if you have a really confident reader that knows what they're getting, and they know that they're conveying the message in the best way that they know how, then you're not going to be able to push them off that message. If you can push them off that message, they're not confident. They're not sure of themselves. You don't want somebody that you can push around, because if you can push them around, then you can basically say that that message is whatever it is that you want it to say. And if you can do that, then that message is not going to help you at all. But if you have a reader that says this is what the message says, and you try to twist it and try to repeat it and try to add words and try to make it something that it's not, and let's face it, there's a lot of you out here who try to do that. If you can push that reader around like that, your reader's not confident enough. You want a reader that stands on their own 2 feet and says, this is the message. You can't move their feet. This is the message. You know, hopefully we don't get frustrated by you trying to push us around, and we don't get rude with you. But we still are going to stand firm, and we're going to say, no, I'm sorry, this is not what you want to hear, obviously, but this is what the message is, and just repeat the same message. That's the kind of confidence that you want in your reader. You don't want a reader that you can bully. And I know bully is a strong word. Not all of you are bullies. Not even some of you are bullies. But some of you that do try to push us around so that you can get the message that you're hoping to hear, you can be. That might be something that you want to consider next time you're having a reading, is how are you treating the reader? Are you trying to push the reading into something that you want? Or are you coming to that reader for their expertise and being able to get the truth and pull it out for you so you can look at it? And how are you acting? Are you acting like you're looking for the truth? Or are you acting like you just want to be comforted by the reading? Okay? So that's confidence level. And then the last thing, which might be the most important thing, all of these are really important though, it's hard for me to prioritize these. Intention. What is your reader's intention? Is your reader's intention to give you a good, accurate reading that you can use to make decisions and move forward in your life productively? Is your reader's intention to get you the answers that you want as quickly as possible so that you'll feel happy with them? Is your reader's intention to make everybody that comes to them happy, no matter what it takes? What is your reader's true intention? Is your reader's intention to make a difference in the world by bringing clarity one person at a time? What is your reader's intention? Do they have a mission statement? What is it that they're trying to accomplish by doing the reading for you? All of these things make a difference on the quality of your readers. So are we all created equal? We might all be born equal. We're all able to communicate. We've all got different levels of practice. We've all had different experiences in life. We all have different intentions. We all work with different people to get our information, or different entities. We all have different confidence levels, and we all have our own version of integrity. Are we equal by the time we get to the playing field and you're choosing one of us? No. No, we're not. And notice something I did not mention here was not price. Price isn't what makes one of us equal to another. Somebody can be priced really low and have the practice, have the experiences in life, have the intention, work with the right people that work with the light, have the confidence level, and have the integrity. And somebody can be priced really high that has none of that. Okay, price does not indicate or impact the quality of your reading or the quality of your reader. Price is no indicator. Price is no indicator. I see so many really good readers who are incredibly underpriced. Incredibly underpriced. And I see some really ridiculous readers who are just off the wall, whose prices are out the window. So price is not an indicator. Not in this situation. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap this up. I hope that gives you guys some things to work with, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Peace out.